The Australian government is clearly a servant of the U.S. military, and it ought to be an independent country. I think nations are the worst thing in the world. I don't want to encourage extreme nationalism. But I want people to have respect for themselves and their towns and their communities, and not think that they should all belong to the United States military, and not be proud of how important the bases are that are being imposed on their land and destroying their environment and poisoning their water and soil and air for the U.S. war machine. And I don't think people should put up with putting nuclear submarines in their country for somebody else's country, in violation of the Non-Proliferation Treaty, making their country a target, more of a target than the home of the empire in the wars to come, for the benefit of not of them but of the empire. And when members of the Australian Parliament ask whether nuclear weapons are going to be brought in and out of these U.S. bases in Australia, and are told it's none of their business, I mean, that ought to be it. That ought to be the end of the story. If it's not our business, what instruments of death, what doomsday weapons are brought into our land, then, the deal's off. Not to go buy the submarines from France or somebody else, but to become a supporter of peace and the rule of law and an actual rules-based order in the world. You got within spitting distance New Zealand that won't have nuclear weapons anywhere near their country. What's wrong with that? That's basic common sense.